because what's-his-face just called me, and every time the phone rings, it stops recording the video. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Wigging Out with Bobby Z, hosted by me, Bernadette Housedown. You guys have been asking me for months now to do another makeup tutorial, and since I'm performing tonight at New World Stages for the Suddenly Seymour show, which is at 8 o'clock, I decided to make a little video for you guys and to start painting at around 2:45, 3 o'clock, which proved to be really late. It's 4 o'clock and my face is pretty much done. Holy shit. The day that I give myself 8,000 hours to do my fucking face, it takes me 25 seconds. Where's my highlight? Oh, I've been in makeup for a lot longer than I would have liked to have been, but it's great because I got to get all dolled up and show you guys kind of my look for the evening. Well, my first look of the evening. And so this is what my makeup looks like. I went very light with my contour and my highlight tonight. I didn't want to go too crazy because the hair is a little bit bright, so I didn't want to go too nuts with everything. Josh said I should have a little more cheek on. I kind of agree, I kind of don't, I don't really know. If you guys want to find out how I did this look tonight, stay tuned. And please be forewarned that, as always, I'm having crazy lighting issues in this video. It's going from regular and beautiful to super overexposed and whited out. I'm not really sure what was happening, something with my hair and against my face. That's what Josh was telling me, at least. If anyone out there can help me, please let me know. In the meantime, don't leave me comments saying it's too pale, because I know it is, and I'm sorry. I'm in a different little area going on right now, and my camera looks really good. The reason why my camera looks good is because I'm recording this on my iPhone. And if you guys saw the title, you guys know that this is going to be a makeup tutorial. And Josh is here. My baby. Birdie's coming. She is. So stay tuned and I'll show you how I did it. Alright, as you can see, I have already covered my eyebrows. For more information on how to do that, I will link my tutorial below. We'll also list all the products I used in the description box below. As you can see here, I have my Kryolan TV paint stick in color 2W, and I'm using a firm cosmetic wedge to gently pat it into my covered eyebrows. I start with one eyebrow, and then I repeat it on the other side, and I blend them together. I next use m.a.c Neutral Set Powder and a large powder brush by OCC Cosmetics, and I gently pat the powder into my covered brow and then sweep off the excess. I then take my Kryolan TV paint stick once again, and I liberally apply it to my face. I gently sweep it over my eyebrows, and then I pull it down along my jaw, and then I fill in the rest. I then remove my shirt, scandalous, covering my neck and my chest since I will be exposing the décolletage, and then I use a firm cosmetic wedge to blend it all out. I then also use my Ricky's brush, dual foundation brush, to blend the edges between my natural skin and the makeup on my neck, chest, and face. I then also use the brush to push into the pores and contours of my natural skin, and I also put a little bit on my ears. I then use my Neutral Set by m.a.c once again with a large powder puff, and you basically want to powder the absolute hell out of your face, your neck, your chest, wherever you threw that foundation. Make sure you are powdering the crap out of it to set it so that it will not move. I like to firmly press it into my skin and then remove excess with a large powder brush after. I next use a small powder puff and Clown White powder by m.a.c to highlight under my eyes, the center of my forehead, and down my nose. Sometimes I do use a foundation and a powder for highlight. This time, since I was going for something a little more subtle and demure, I went for just powder. I then put a light dusting of the Clown White powder on my chin and my upper lip, and then I connect it like a diamond shape into my cheek highlight. I then take my Aubrey Mitchell Dark Mineral Foundation palette with my BX20 flat brush from Langnickel, and I pack this lighter shade of contour into my cheek contour area, my forehead, and my neck, and then I blend it out. I next take the same palette in a darker shade, and I start at the areas that I would like to recede the most, such as the area where my sideburn meets my ear and the part where my temples meet my hairline and my neck. I then pack the darker shade in, I turn the brush sideways and use the flat edge to create a sharper line of distinction where I would like my cheek to be. I then also use the same brush and dark color on my nose contour. Like many of you, my nose is definitely not perfectly straight, so you don't want to follow the shape of your actual nose, you want to fake it until you make it straight. Using a small Sephora eyeshadow brush, I strengthen the line of my crease, my nose, and the bottom part of my cut cheek. Josh hates the way I do my nose, so he comes over to help me as I take a small Essence of Beauty eyeshadow crease brush and strengthen the highlight with Clown White on my nose. Ain't we so cute? Josh then likes to distract me and make funny faces and noises as I'm trying to focus on my cheeks. I used my Aubrey Mitchell Ebony Blush Palette with the Bdellium Tools 959 brush, and I just add this to the areas where I put my contour powder. I then also use the same small Sephora brush as before to just add a little more warmth to my nose contour so I don't look so ashy. I then also use the Clown White and just pop up my highlight as well. You'll notice me do this several times throughout. I just like my highlight to be real bright, girl. I next take my Langnickel Contour C120 brush with a little bit of a brighter pink shade, and I just pop my cheek just a little bit more, focusing on the top area where I want just a little more light warmth. I then blend it into my highlight and into the contour below. I next use Coty Airspun Powder in Translucent 07024 with a powder puff, and I just use this and sweep it underneath my cheek contour to cut my cheek. I notice a lot of girls will do this with their highlight color. I'm not a big fan of having like a big white line on my jaw. I like it to be a little more natural looking, but do whatever you want, honey. I don't run your life. I next use Urban Decay's Eyeshadow Primer Potion Eyeshadow Base, and I sweep it across my entire lid and crease area. This just makes the color vibrancy and staying power of whatever eyeshadow you use better, and it will last. Next, I take the OCC color pencil in Sybil, and I carve out my crease. Now, my boy crease is a little low for me, so I start off where my real eyebrow is, and then I angle it into the outer corner of my eye where my crease actually is to just open up my eye a bit more. I then use a mini flat smudge brush, C402 by Langnickel, to smudge and blend out the pencil, and this makes a great base for eyeshadows to cut your crease more. I then take my Morphe brush palette, and I use this really pretty tawny brown color right here, and I just focus that on the outer corner of my crease where my real crease is, and I gently sweep it across to put a little bit of pigment in the inside. I then use an OCC fluffy brush to blend it out a bit. I then use OCC pencils in Trick to lightly shape my brow so I know where I'm going to go with them. I then darken it again with the Sybil pencil, but I don't fill them in quite yet because I want to finish the rest of my face first.
Right, I'm not done.
Now that I have my brow outline, I go through and I just blend my crease shading a little bit higher because I can bring it up higher knowing where my eyebrows are. I then go through with the same tawny shade as before, with the same small, thin Langnickel brush as before, and I just heighten the crease underneath by packing a little bit of shadow in. Next, I take the NYX Cosmetics Primal Colors in Hot Black, with the same thin Royal Langnickel brush, and I just pack that in a thin line to define my crease even more. I then blend it out with my OCC small eyeshadow fluffy brush. Next, I take my Sugar Pill Pro palette, which I love so much. I'm using this hot pink color with my Royal and Langnickel Angle Shader C500 brush, and I'm packing in this hot pink into my lid. I then take the plum purple color and I pack it into the area in the corner of my eye where the crease meets my lid, and then I blend it together to make a very pretty gradation. Next, I go back in with my NYX Hot Black Primal Color, and I just heighten and pack it into my crease area, and I blend upwards to keep the definition between the pink and the black. I then also sweep this and the pink and purple underneath my eye to give more of a cat eye effect. I then continue to blend and pack in and blend and pack in until I feel like the effect is what I want. Then use the OCC pencil in color Tard, and I line my upper lid, and I then blend this out with the same fluffy brush that has the black NYX Primal on it. I then also put a small line underneath my eye, and I also cut my crease a little more, and then I blend it out to blur the lines. Next, I use the Mehron paint stick in Alabaster with a Ben Nye number 2 makeup brush, and I just sweep this underneath the outline of my eyebrow just to make this highlight pop a little bit. I then blend it with my finger, and I use a Nicka K blending eyeshadow brush NB007 to pack in a little bit of the white highlight eyeshadow from the Sugar Pill Pro palette. I then use my favorite mascara of all time, Buxom, and apply it to my upper and lower lashes in multiple coats so they can get nice and full and long and draggy. Next, I use a Bdellium Tools 760 angle brush and the cream liner in color Coacoa by Kryolan, and I just gently fill in my eyebrows. I also feather them towards the center and pat it with my finger so I don't get a super hard line of demarcation. It sort of blends out. I grab my handy dandy Morphe brush neutral palette once again, and I use a lighter color than what I drew on my brows just so that they're not as dark and harsh. And I use a Taklon Brows C540 brush by Royal and Langnickel to pack this shadow in and to seal down the gel liner. Next, I use the blackest black I own, which is Diamond Black by Makeup Forever, and I just gently sweep this across my crease. I'm focusing it in the corner to give my eyes much more depth than they have naturally. And then you want to blend this in with a fluffy brush. Then I put a little more mascara on. Then I use a large round powder brush number 41 from Sephora to blend all my beautiful colors of powder together so I don't look so crazy pants. I then reapply the Clown White with a powder puff to my under eye area just to give me an extra little pop. So since I added a little more highlight powder to my cheeks, my nose, and my forehead, I am getting a little bit of fallout on my lashes, so I put another coat of mascara on. I want to bat my eyes like Betty Davis. Next, I remove excess powder and foundation from my lips with a towel. I then go in with Not Safe for Work by OCC, and I fill in and outline my lips. This is my real lip shape right here. So you guys can see now how I'm overextending and filling them out quite considerably to give myself more of a feminine pout and shape. and I just extend the top and the bottom down quite considerably, and I leave the Cupid's bow low to give me more of that sexy video vixen from the 40s. Realness. Next, I use Black Dahlia, also by OCC, in the outer corners. I then use a fake m.a.c 316 SE brush to blend it towards the middle. This will give you more of a 3D shape versus a flat lip. Next, I go in using a m.a.c knockoff 194 brush, using Lip Tar Strumpet. And a little bit goes a long way with these guys, ladies. Just put a little bit on the back of your hand and just lightly fill in your lips with a lip brush. Next, I use the Black Dahlia Matte Lip Tar with the same little brush as before. And I focus this on the outside corners, and then I blend it in just like I did with the liner. This is going to give you a nice 3D pout effect, which you guys can see here. Don't mind me feeling my oats. I always feel the best once I get my lip on. Next, I take Lip Tar Metallic in Lovecraft with the Sigma Trial E-Liner E05 brush and my finger, and I just put a little bit of this in the center of my lip just for an extra little pop. You want to be wary of using shiny products all over your lip when you're overdrawing, because the shine will actually accentuate the line of your boy lips versus hide it like a matte would. Next, I use that large Sephora powder brush again, and I gently dust off my highlight. As you can see, I am focusing on the portion where it meets my contour, and I am barely touching the highest point. That's where I want it to be the lightest. I then also powder off the excess highlight from my nose and my forehead. I then spray with my favorite setting spray, which is Green Marble. And as you can see, it stings a little bit because it's full of alcohol, but my face never moves when I use this stuff. I swear by it. Thank you so much, Miss Fame, for showing it to me. I always start with my bottom lashes first, so the top ones won't get in the way, especially if they're very long. I'm using a pair of Ardell Sweeties in black, and as you can see, I'm using Weave Bonding Glue, which is very strong and tacks almost instantly. I love it. As you can see there, I got a little bit on my face, but if you let it dry, you can peel it right off and it won't disturb your makeup underneath. I then also take my Buxom Mascara once again, and I just do a little tiny bit coat of mascara just to get my lashes to blend into the false lash underneath. I love a long, full upper lash, so I'm using one pair of Liberty Republic's Fake It. The style is Catfight, and they are black. And I'm also stacking on top of that a pair of Ardell 115s. If you're doing a double stack, you definitely want to make sure that you are using a lot of glue in the inside and outside corners so that they will not wing up due to their weight. You can also see here I like to use the back of my fingers against my lashes to kind of push them up and away from my lash line as they set and dry, so they wing up and away from my eyes, making my eyes look huge and beautiful. Next, I use a Royal & Langnickel BX90 fluffy brush and the Balm's Overshadow in color No Money, No Honey. And I just sweep this lightly across areas I want to catch light, such as my cheekbones, my forehead highlight, and down the bridge of my nose. I also like to put a small, tiny little boop dot on the end of my nose just to make it pop a little more.